All right. Welcome to the inaugural podcast. I want to welcome you. My name is Classic. We have Treble Clef,
Hello, everyone.
Mink,
Hi.
Frequent Flyer,
Hey.
and Anonymous.
Really, bitch?
And Treble Clef just gave away the name of the podcast, which is called Really Bitch. We're going to be discussing today's hot topics, some very interesting, some pop culture, some newsworthy, and some things that make us say, really bitch? Today we're going to start off with the first really bitch, which is Mimi, reality TV, Nene, Kenya, and just that whole genre. And I'm going to start off with a really bitch on Mimi. So, Trouble, how we feel about the Mimi tape?
I guess disappointed. I mean, everyone can do whatever they want to do. You're a grown woman, I get it. And I guess if she had been doing porn, for 15 years.
That been her thing.
And, this had been her thing.
That's how we knew you.
But I guess, I'm not sure of her age, but I know late 30s.
She's in her 40s.
45.
Yeah.
45.
Okay, well, the heifer looks good. I'll give her that. I'll give her that. In the video, she looks good. But I guess I just kind of
So you saw the video. I
saw snippets of it. I saw
just for
snippets
research
of it.
purposes.
Well, everybody's been talking about it.
Curiosity cues.
Yeah,
The cat.
everybody's been talking about it. But, I guess my disappointment just comes in the fact that she has a young daughter. I think her daughter isn't any more than about 7 or 8. So the fact that you've never done anything like this before, and then you pick to your grown woman, 45 years old, to do, something like this, I got a problem with that. I really do.
Okay. Mink, you are a mother, so we all have different backgrounds, and as we go forward with the podcast, you'll get to know us more and more. But Mink, you're a mother. How does that? Trouble is too. But how does that make you feel? What was your first thought?
I haven't seen the tape. I've only heard the comments that were made about the tape. My first thought was, who the hell is Mimi?
Okay.
Because I didn't get the big buzz about it because,
Right.
she's not this name brand. She's not even a Nene status of a type reality celebrity.
True. Right.
So
right.
I was like, well, who is this? But then I got the comments and what was going on. My first thought was, really, bitch? Because my thought is, I'm tired of the oops, it leaked. You know what I mean?
Well, that clearly
It's not a
there was
It's
some
not a leak.
production
Yes.
involved.
And that's why I keep hearing.
They had
it's a
lighting.
Yeah, I keep hearing it's
Cameras.
a well
Right,
quality.
different cameras.
So have we reached?
so I heard.
So have we reached a status in our society and in our personal lives where we're willing to do anything just to get a name out there and to keep it out there?
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought. And as far as her being a mother, we all know sometimes our kids are more internet and tech savvy than we are. So her daughter has probably seen it, who have friends who've seen it, and she's getting a backlash from it.
Right.
So while you in there swinging from the jungle vines or the shower curtain, where you think, granted, at that moment you probably weren't thinking about your daughter, but as my auntie would say, you have to think further than the tip of the nose in your face.
Right.
Think about the consequences of all your actions. So, really, bitch?
Frequent Flyer, how you feel about it?
Bad example. Bad example for your kids. Bad example for black women.
Right.
It's one of those things where you want that 15 minutes of fame, 15 seconds of fame.
Exactly.
to last.
And my thing is, I'm not a big Steve Harvey fan. I don't dislike him, but he's not must see TV for me. But he made some very valid points this week on his show. He spoke on it a couple of times, and one of the things I saw where he spoke to that. What example are you setting for your daughter? It's not worth the little bit, it's that little bit of fame, that little bit of money, because like you said, that's not even real money. Like, I don't believe the rumor that she got paid $5 million. Like, I don't believe that. That's just, I don't think that's beyond something that I believe to be true. But it's just not worth it when you start looking at it, even if it was $5 million. Like you said, for the rest of your life, and that's the example you set for your daughter. For what? For a little bit of fame. I just, it bothered me. But not, too serious, because it ain't my life, but I just felt like, what will you do for money?
And that's my thought. My thought is like, how far will we go? How far will we go for the sake of sometimes not even money, but just fame?
Yeah.
Just to have.
And then it's that 5 minutes. It's not even real fame.
It's not.
Because it's one of those things where they're not laughing with you; they're laughing at you.
Yes.
So it's not even that real fame. You know what I mean?
Because she went from the girl that girl from that reality show, Hip Hop Atlanta, to that chick who did the
sex tape, right.
So you really didn't elevate yourself.
Right, and if you think that's going to convert to some Kim Kardashian stuff, that ain't happening.
It don't work for black
It don't. It ain't going to work for
And
you,
they ain't
boo.
got
I
Mom-
hate to be the one to tell
But they
you.
ain't got Mama Kardashian behind them pushing that tape.
And there you go. There, hello.
Say what you want about Kris Jenner, but she know how to get,
She know how to
make
work it.
things.
Oh, she
happen.
pimps the hell out her kids and makes all of their asses some money. I'll be her daughter too, because bitch, I'll be rich in a month. I take it. Shit.
Cause she sees something. I saw the other two already, but
Right. Anonymous. How you feel about it?
I guess my take on it is you're doing all these different antics to try to stay relevant. What is the big picture about your branding? Because before you had a label, you know, everyone saw you from the reality show, you had your own business, you were a mother who happened to be in love with a man who couldn't make his decision on who he permanently wanted to be with.
Right.
So you kind of came out as a strong, successful black woman just trying to, you know, find a place and someone to love. Now you've redefined your role and your brand. Why? Was there a conversation that you had with the person you did the tape with about you want to change your image, your role? How do you plan on coming out on the other side of this? Because to me, she is a businesswoman. She has a successful cleaning business in Atlanta. So she's been able to keep that business and going. So she does have some business savvy.
Right.
So my thought is you're facing a lot of ridicule. You're facing a lot of things you're going to have to answer to your daughter, to other people. What's the vision on the other side of this? I think that there's more to this story to begin with. And the fact that she can so willingly show and give her body to another person, to me, reveals why she was even able to deal with that guy from the beginning and have a baby with him. She has something missing in herself.
It's something.
So I don't want to condemn her. What I want to say is
Sweet.
there could be a business or something on this other side. You don't have to share it with me, but did you share it with your daughter? Did you share it with the other women who care about you?
So maybe she gonna flip it.
And maybe she can't do a Kim. You're right. I don't think a black woman or someone of a brown pigment could pull it off. But do you have another plan with this? And if you do have another plan, did you share with the key people who truly care about your well-being? Because while you have to deal with the ridicule, so do they. So did you clue them in? And then is there something that's going to happen on the other side of this? And I hope that there's more to this story than what's presented on a superficial level. So that's my take.
Well, my thought is, I mean, how deep is a plan where it starts off showing tits and ass on video?
Well, the fact that she did have some level of production, to me, said there was a plan to begin with to get that done.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
she had a plan to get the people in her production company in her living room. You
So
right
why
about
not
that?
why not just go for the internet porn or kind of move into that as opposed to leaking or exposing the tape for free online?
No, you gotta pay. The exposure came from other people leaking it, just like
Okay,
anything else here.
okay.
Oh no, you gotta buy that thing.
Okay.
And they've
Okay.
sent cease and desist
Right, I was
letters.
about to say, and that's
Okay.
a part
Yeah.
of her
Because if
contract.
you do a search,
Right.
you're gonna find still pictures.
Okay.
Right.
And
Okay.
you keep
But the
digging-
actual link, the actual link that was leaked. You supposed to be, because then they said they've already sold like 400,000 pre-sale copies or
Right.
something,
Yeah.
some crazy,
Okay.
ridiculous number.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
the fact
yeah.
that she's with a large distributor, it
Vivid.
makes me
Vivid
right.
Entertainment.
Who's maybe
I've
there
heard of
is
them.
some thought
Heard of.
process kind of going on with all of that to say that does she have some rights
saying.
in what is sold? Does she have a percentage? What's happening? And then the other thing is, I don't want to condemn her. What's going on with this guy? I think this speaks to the larger picture of the double standard that women face. I know that we can't get away from it, but nobody's condemning him. You know,
True.
He's
people are
really
paying
nobody.
him back.
He just,
But neither is she.
well,
But
I mean,
she's more
she's
somebody
more
than
well
he
known than he
is.
is. He kind of came into the show like the last season as like a boyfriend. I didn't even realize that they were still together. I thought they had broken up.
Well, the rumors that they were like, there was a fake friendship, fake relationship for the show. And that's the thing about reality TV. You don't know how much of it really is reality.
Right.
So to flip it real quick, we only have a few more seconds for this part of it, but real quick, did anybody look at the Real Housewives of Atlanta, the reunion?
Of course.
Because first of all, let me be clear. Now, all of us in this room are from DC. Let's be clear. All right? Some from the South Side.
Whoop, whoop.
You know, some from North Side. That's me. Right? What I'm gonna say to you before we had this conversation is that was not a fucking fight. Okay, that was Portia grabbed that bitch, threw her down, and dragged her. That was no fights.
Right.
Okay, so now that we have that established, how do we feel about that?
Okay, I didn't see the show. I've only saw the snippets of Access Hollywood show.
You
So
need
I
to
saw
start watching the show.
the
No,
initial. I saw the initial drag and pull or whatever.
Was that a high five? Audience, that was a high five.
I think that Portia was well within her rights because she told her get the damn scepter out of her
She
face.
told her to get out of face.
You started with the bullhorn. The next thing is a big down bitch. So you got what you got because you
That's
don't
what
know
I'm
how to
talking
act.
about.
Yeah, and I'm mad that Andy Cohen, they was talking about she needed to, apologize.
Andy
I had
Cohen
a
was wrong because
feeling
they
she
set
was
that
wrong. He let
whole
it go.
thing up. He set it up because he let her bring props and all that other crazy shit, and then he want to act so appalled, like, oh my god,
I can't believe
we
she did
condemn
that.
violence. No, you
Because
don't.
let's switch it. Let's switch it. What would happen had what's her name? Had Portia been pointing that scepter in
Right,
Kenya's
Kenya
face?
face.
All right. We'll. It is a part 2 and a part 3, so we'll come back to that. We'll definitely talk on that again. So my next question, we're gonna flip it up a little bit. There's been some controversy again. We're in the DC area, so there's some controversy. Howard University has announced that Sean P. Diddy Puffy Combs, who went to Howard for I think 2 years. Roughly, has been announced that he's going to be the commencement speaker. Now I'm going to take it a step further before we speak on it. Peyton Manning, who's an NFL quarterback who did graduate from college, let me preface it by that. He is going to be speaking at I want to say UVA's graduation. He's this guest speaker.
Did he graduate from UVA?
He didn't graduate from UVA, but he
Okay.
graduated from the University of Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee, yes.
Tennessee.
And then also we have John Legend, who will be speaking at Penn State's graduation, and he graduated from Penn State, magna cum laude.
Oh.
I also, if we have time, want to throw in that Michelle Obama, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that situation, where Michelle Obama was going to give the commencement address at a high school, and the people protested so much that they changed it. She's still going to speak, but they're now having a senior recognition ceremony where she can speak at that instead of speaking at the actual graduation. And there's a little bit more of a story to that. But let's go back to Diddy. Let's go back to Diddy. How do we feel about Sean Combs being asked to speak at Howard and the protests? How do we feel about that?
I feel as though, as not sorry, an alumni, but as a former student of Howard, who, for whatever reason, he left, but he was still able to become successful in his chosen career path. I think he has a lot to offer these students. Granted, he's a little bit older, but he's still someone in their generation.
We have a whole lot of old people speaking graduation.
Right, but he's still able to reach.
I don't even remember the bitch that spoke of mine. I was drunk. I'm just real.
He's able to reach out and say something that he can contribute to them and their path to go forth and do what they have to do. Like my high school graduation, which happened a few moons ago, Les Brown was my speaker. I did not realize that until about 4 or 5 years later because I fell asleep during
Didn't y'all
his
graduate
speech.
together?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I did not realize that until a few years later because at that moment during graduation, there was nothing he said that I felt as though, he was speaking to the future me. 5 years down the line, but at 17, I was not trying to hear anything he was trying to
That
say.
was Gladys Knight's husband. That's all.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
then they got divorced, 2 months later?
Something like that. So I appreciate the fact that you found somebody who's been in that chair where those kids have been since of being a Howard student. Someone who, for whatever reason, again, did not get to the point where they are, but he still reached a level of success in his past and his career. I think he has a lot to offer.
Okay. All right.
I agree with you.
You graduated from so Anonymous graduated. She graduated from Howard. She has a degree from Howard because she got a couple of them. She got a degree from Howard. So as an alum,
I think I don't have a problem with it because what's the definition of commencement?
I didn't know it was gonna be a quiz.
But it's the end, right? The ending of something, the process, the commencement, the wrapping up. He has been able to see a vision and execute it in a lot of different fields. So why not let this man talk about how he had a vision, what steps he took to get to his different levels of commencement? You see what I'm
See how she
saying?
went deep on that?
So
That's why she got 20 degrees. She went deep with
I think
it.
that's a great idea, and I definitely agree with with my partner over here that it would make sense. We need to be able to capture. We need to be able to capture these young people at a certain part of their life where they're open to new possibilities, and someone who can give them some real information, not singing them a song and a dance. Because when they finish with school, they got student loans, they got bills.
I don't
they
want to
got
talk about that
world
bitch Sally
facing.
Mae.
So if this
They got their
man,
parents asking, where you going now?
Right.
What you gonna do?
What you
right,
gonna
all these
do?
expectations,
Right.
you did this dream. Now you got to deal with the dream facing the reality and how to get that message that it's okay. You're going to fall down. It's okay to get up. And who else but Diddy? Look at him. Music, he and drink. I mean,
Ciroc.
I mean,
Ciroc.
think about in a few short years, he's gone from an intern to an entertainment mogul. Not just music. Like you said, he has Ciroc.
And it started while he was at Howard. He started all that. I mean, unfortunately, we know about the unfortunate incident while he was at Howard, and I remember that basketball game, and it was unfortunate. And I mean, even if you've seen any documentaries or interviews with him, he always speaks on that moment as really being a defining moment that changed his life. My opinion on it, or my 2 cents on it, is as long and the thing about Diddy, he's not dumb. I wish I knew him because I feel like he's the kind of person I can sit down and have a real good conversation with because he's not a dumb dude at all. Everything he does is very calculated. So I know that he's not going to sit up there and give a speech talking about look at what I did without a college degree.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to see him give a speech saying, even though my time here was short, this is what Howard meant to me. This is the foundation that Howard gave me.
Right.
This
to
is
go out into the
to
world,
go out and do what
and
I've
do
done.
it.
Because if you're in the and let's look at the big picture of it. Oprah ain't never graduated from college, and she got 1 million honorary degrees, and she's spoken at 1 million commencements. And people can argue and say, well, she didn't make her money off of whatever. But here's the thing: what people can say a lot of things about Diddy. What they can't say is that he's not talented. You may not like his form of music, but you can't say he hasn't made some great music.
Right.
You may not like the way he's done some of his other business ventures, but you can't say that he hasn't done some great things and been successful. And like you said, in the grand scheme of things, when I look at some people who have been commencement speakers, not all of them graduated from college.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Or was sober. Because Marion Barry was at mine. I'm going to be quiet. Let's just say that he met the guy in the alley before he came to talk to us.
Not Mary Berry though, Mayor for Life. Oh.
But you know, my undergrad degree.
I don't even remember who spoke at my high school.
Jack Johnson was my undergrad.
Oh, the one that just went to jail?
Yeah, that Jack Johnson.
Okay. All right.
Yes, County, and I was sitting there trying to listen intently until I heard, in the immortal words of Dr. Seuss, "Really, bitch? You had a college graduation
He
quoting."
had to wake you up.
I was wrong, but he started quoting with
But
a
you know
cat in
what?
the hat.
I think they quoted all the places you can go at my graduation.
See, that's that bull. That's that.
I do think that, because let me be clear about some things, and this way you don't know a lot about me. I didn't really give a fuck at my graduation, none of them, and I've had a few, and because I was done with the work part of it, so I don't remember a whole lot. I've listened for my name. That's it. They call my name and I walk across the stage. Right, it was time for me to get up now. But yeah, so Peyton Manning, who is a college graduate, I just don't hear a whole lot of people yelling and screaming about that.
Right.
John Legend, like I said, he graduated magna cum laude from the school he's speaking at. So I think that may be why you're not getting a lot of the comparison. What I didn't know was that John Legend was a child prodigy. I'm sorry, I digress, but he was a child prodigy. He was in high school like at the age of 12 or something crazy. Like he was a little guy.
Oh, wow.
And he was in an accelerated program. Yeah, he was a child prodigy. So I guess you don't get the comparisons from that.
Well, see, but the thing,
point of view.
like you were saying earlier with Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P Diddy, whatever he is.
Pick a name.
He can come up and say, "This is what I learned at Howard after only being here 2 years. You guys are going forward with a Howard degree. You've got so much more. So if I can accomplish this, only imagine what
I think you need you better Instagram that motherfucker tonight and tell him you wrote his speech for him. He on Twitter all day long.
He can take it that much
standing
further.
up with my Martin Luther King.
I mean, he could honestly turn around and say to all the people that's doubting him right now, kiss my ass because I had something to offer.
There you go.
He can say, I came to Howard, I was lost. I was here, I was
But
there.
now I'm fine.
Yes, but once I got to Howard gave me so much. Not that I couldn't get more, but I took what I got and I ran with it.
Right.
This is what I became.
Right.
I mean, because again, he went from intern to rapper to hype man to rapper to
He was a background dancer too.
Yeah, he did a couple of background
So Father
dances.
MC.
Yeah.
And then he turned
What
around.
you do for me, I'll do for you. Music break.
But you know, but then, and now he went from that to Ciroc, and then he has what's the car, the Fiat or whatever the car thing he's doing now. I'm
Because
like,
what I found, I saw this. Ciroc went to Diddy, and I'm gonna be done. But Ciroc went to Diddy and wanted him to be a spokesperson, and Diddy was like, "No, this is what I can do for you. Let's go into this as a business venture." And I mean, he increased. I mean, nobody knew who the hell or what the hell a Ciroc was before Big Diddy put his name on
And
it. So
everybody
again,
got
that's a businessman. No, I'm not gonna just hold up a bottle and say drink it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, with that being
And
said,
he is a brand.
And that goes back to what is Mimi trying to do? What's your brand?
what are you What are you doing?
She
What do you
needs to
wanna do?
come to the commencement and sit down and hear some
Hit some
knowledge
knowledge.
With some shades.
Right.
With some shades on.
Right.
All right. So wait a minute. I'm gonna pause right here. What we're getting ready to do? We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to speak on Columbus Short.